This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Yo, hey everybody, welcome to Groomer Humor on Pet Life Radio. We are your hosts. I'm Rudy V along with my son Anthony Ray, and today's topic is going to be about nail clipping. Yes, nail clipping. Your dog and cat need their nails clipped. Some of the most common questions we get are, how often should I get my dog's nails clipped? How much does it cost? Is there a vein in the nail? Yes, there is a vein in the nail, guys. How far should I clip my dog's nails? What happens if I don't clip my dog's nails? Do my dog's nails even need to be clipped? What kind of clippers do you use? I mean, we just get the vast amount of questions on nail clips. So we're going to have the answers to all of these questions and much, much more when we come back to Groomer Humor on Pet Life Radio.
If you've ever shared your home and heart with a charmingly naughty animal who's always up to mischief, you'll fall in love with the Klepto Kitty who stars in Talk to the Paw by Melinda Metz. Talk to the Paw is a funny, heartwarming novel about a single girl, a single guy, and MacGyver, an adorable tabby cat with a not-so-adorable habit of stealing from the neighbors. Talk to the Paw is on sale now everywhere books are sold. Visit kensingtonbooks.com for more info.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Groomer Humor on Pet Life Radio. And before the break, we said we're going to be talking about our pets' nails today. So, Ant, how are your nails today? That's the bigger question. How are your nails holding up?
Well, you can't forget, I bathe dogs all day, so my nails are always nice and clean, actually.
Right. Yeah, why? Because you're scrubbing the dogs, your nails are your hands are always clean.
Yeah, exactly.
What about your toes, though? Do you scrub the dog with your toes, too? How are your toes holding?
I don't know. To be honest, I don't really know. I haven't really looked at my toes in a while.
Really? Yeah. Man, that could be rough, huh?
Yeah. It's a surprise.
I used to chew my toenails when I was a kid.
Oh, wow. I swear, I'm going to throw up, dude. I'm going to throw up. That's it.
And listen, the show is about honesty here, okay? Groomer Humor is about honesty. Besides, it was a really long time ago.
Oh.
I stopped doing that when I was like 40, so.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
I don't have the leg flexibility anymore. I can't get that foot up to the mouth area anymore. Now I just use a Puma stone.
Oh, my God. You should use that on stage.
Oh, my God, yeah. Man, we got shows coming up, too. I'm scared.
I know.
You scared?
Oh, dude, I'm always scared.
We must be the only two stand-up comedians that still suffer from extreme stage fright.
You're probably right. Every
time I go up, I swear, my heart starts racing, my throat gets dry, my stomach, I feel nauseous. I want to cry.
Yeah. And in the midst of feeling all of that, you got to go up there and be funny. Oh yeah, don't stumble on a word. Remember every single right. syllable that you wrote. Don't mess up at all.
Right.
And maybe you do okay.
Right. You got to try to deliver the joke, and you always have the drunk heckler in the audience that wants to ruin your bit because he wants to come on stage and tell a knock-knock joke.
Yeah, exactly. It's a real nail biter.
Yeah. No pun intended. Yeah.
No pun intended.
All right. Well, listen, speaking of nail biters, let's get into this nail clipping episode here. So very important to clip our dogs' nails and our cats too. So let's address some of the questions that we, should I get my dog's nails clipped? The answer to that is yes. Absolutely. Yeah. And listen, we're not trying to be sarcastic or anything, but really we still get this question on a regular basis. And it's not that people are naive. They just don't know. And that's, again, part of the show. We want to draw this attention towards dog grooming. I mean, there's so many other things. There's training, there's vet shows. We have to get this grooming stuff out there because it's just so important in the lifespan of our dogs and cats. So, answer to that question is absolutely. You definitely have to get your dog's nails clipped. So along with that question, we get, how often? Well, rule of thumb is once a month.
Yeah.
Right. You don't want them growing out too long because, again, if you go to our YouTube channel and you go to Grooming by Rudy, we have a video up. It's called When Dogs' Nails Get Too Long. You'll see firsthand the image of the dog whose nails are just way, way too long. And what happens is when they get too long is they start to hook under. They start to compromise the way your dog walks because the nail gets so long that it starts touching the ground and lifting the digit. And in a lot of cases can become very, very painful to the dog. So, just important. Yeah. We get our dog's nails clipped regularly once a month.
Yeah, the dog that was in the video, it was pushing up on the digit, like you said. And so it was a really good example because we were able to get in there with the camera and really show you what it looks like and before and after the nail was cut. You can just tell after you cut the nail that just the pad wasn't getting pushed up on anymore the way it was and just probably felt so much better for the dog.
Yeah, and then even after I clipped the nail, I kind of pushed the foot down and you could see how flat the pad was resting just after the nail clip. Yeah, so check that out. Go to our YouTube channel, go to Grooming by Rudy, just punch in When Dogs' Nails Get Too Long so you could actually see it for yourself. And you want to avoid that happening. So, and then also with that being said, when you're clipping a dog's nail, yes, there's also a vein in the nail. We get that question as well. It might seem like common knowledge to a lot of pet owners, a lot of dog groomers, people who know dogs, but it could be a normal question for somebody that, just got a dog for the first time or something like that. And very important to not hit that vein while clipping the nails. And we can go into great detail on how to do it. But rule of thumb is when first starting out, clip little by little. You don't want to try to go too far, hit the vein, and then the dog remembers that and hates it because it is somewhat painful to them. You want to avoid hitting that vein.
Yeah. If you got a puppy and you're trying this at home, and you're not tipping the nails at the beginning and you're just kind of going right for the jugular and clipping them down as far as you possibly could, the dog is never going to forget that because it's going to hurt. And, the dogs aren't exactly like humans. When you're a little baby, if you get your ears pierced, you forget the pain. Yeah. Dogs are a little bit more, they're going to always remember, nope, the last time you grabbed my paw like that and that took those things out, it hurt. And they never forget, so it's not exactly the same.
Right. And again, we're not trying to make people sound stupid or anything, but one of the worst things that ever happened to me, and I've been grooming for a very long time, as you know, I've been in it for 33 years. A lady walked into my shop, this was a long time ago, with her Lhasa Apso, and this woman cut all of the nails off. If you could believe that or not. She walked in. Yeah, she had her dog wrapped in a towel and it was bleeding all over the place. I literally picked up the phone and called, a vet friend of mine and said, I have somebody that, is going to come down right now. She made a big mistake. So let's really, really be careful. If you try to clip your dog's nails at home, be careful. Get practiced at it. It's not something that should be taken lightly. You should get practiced at it, and you get practiced at it by what you just said, Anthony, doing it little by little, taking little bits off at a time so that you get more practiced at it, so that the dog gets more used to it. A lot of times they don't mind the nail being clipped. They hate the way the clipper sounds, that snapping sound or whatever, They're scared of that. So again, you want to get your dog or your cat used to it, and you want to become more practiced at it. Just don't assume that, it's that easy. It's not. It's a very difficult thing to do. I mean, I've been doing it for 33 years. I still am scared to do it at times.
Yeah, you prefer I'm there with you too, even if, because a lot of times I'll hold the dog for you. If we feel like it's going to maybe fall off the table or something like that, I'll just hold them. Even when there's nothing for me to do, you still prefer I'm just there because nail clipping is very dangerous. I mean, there's a lot of aspects of grooming are very dangerous, but, nail clips is not something that you're ever going to be 100% comfortable doing. So you have to practice it. The more you practice it, the better.
Right. There are certain breeds also that fare better with nail clips than others. Like, for example, I haven't met like a Chow Chow or a Shar-Pei that will let you do it. And most of the time, these Chow Chow, Shar-Peis, even German Shepherds, they can be very, very challenging on the nails, where they're really having a hard time. They're trying to bite you. In these cases, you may have to use a muzzle. If you do have to use a muzzle, we recommend using basket muzzles. Don't use muzzles that wrap the mouth, wrap the muzzle.
Yeah.
Stay away from those. They're kind of dangerous. If the dog's getting too upset, you won't be able to breathe properly. The basket muzzle basically just covers the muzzle. They could still pant and open their mouth, but they won't be able to bite you.
Yeah, so they look a little bit like Hannibal Lecter, doesn't it?
Yeah, they exactly. They look like Hannibal Lecter.
Around Halloween, just leave it alone.
Yeah, for the 2 minutes that it takes to clip their nails. But yeah,
Pugs were another one, by the way.
Yes,
Pugs.
Right.
I've never met a pug that lets you do the nails. They do not like that. I think it's because their veins are so close.
Yeah, that's what it is. The certain breeds' veins, especially like a Shar-Pei, they have a very solid vein in their nail. Like it's almost like the whole nail is a vein. So they're very, very sensitive to anything, to any clipping or even having their feet touched. But yeah, the veins could grow longer in certain breeds. You got the dreaded dark nail too. Much more difficult to clip than the clear nail, the white nail where you can actually see through the nail and see where the vein is. So anytime you're doing a dark nail, you always have to kind of do little by little. You have to look at the nail from straight on. It's hard to explain, but like from a head-on point of view, not the side view. So, and if you look in it, it's almost like cutting a banana. If you look at the center, the darker that center gets, that's where the vein is. So, I mean, you could tell that way too.
With black nails, you're sort of going in blind, like you said, and you sort of have to slowly reveal the closeness of the vein as opposed to the clear nails where you could just cheat. You just look, it's like looking
see
through
where
a
it
window.
is.
You could see the vein, you could see through it, but the black, and that kind of, it helps the more you know the dogs too, because like we have that pug that we do, Lacey. She has all black nails and her veins are incredibly close to the tip. But since we know that, over time, her veins get hit less and less because you're just used to it now and you sort of gotten to know, I can only really tip these. And even still, I mean, after all of that practice, all the years we've been doing her, you still get the vein once in a while because it's just going to happen. It's part of it, unfortunately. But it's really no different than when you take your fingernail a little bit too short.
Exactly.
Your own nails.
And as longtime dog groomers, we see a lot of different dogs. So that's a good point. We get to know these dogs. So yes, in Lacey's case, we know her veins are very, very long. So we can't go too far and we grind them. But yeah, I wanted to say this too. In a lot of cases, dogs will be not so good at it only because the owner tried to do it. They took it lightly. They went too far right off the bat. So again, guys, little by little, get practiced. And if you're unsure and if you don't feel comfortable doing it, by all means, bring your dog to a groomer, bring your dog to a vet, have them do it.
That's why we're here. And like that lady that you said, where she didn't know, she cut all the nails off. Back then, and this is what's changing nowadays, thank God, is that there was just not nearly the amount of information readily available to you back at that time. The lady wasn't trying to be cruel to her dog in any way. She just simply didn't know
that there was a vein.
Yeah, it's a small little detail that could have cost her that entire situation to be avoided. But nowadays we're getting to a point where every aspect of grooming, it's what we're trying to do. It's what a lot of people are trying to do. Every single aspect of it, down to just simple do's and don'ts that could save your dog's life. Everything is out there now, and we're going to continue to keep pushing that forward because it's just important. And a lot of lives can be saved, little pet lives. There's some just simple mistakes you could make, that could cause some damage.
Yeah, and that dog, by the way, was fine. He ended up having his paws wrapped, and he was on antibiotics. That dog ended up being fine. But again, we just want to bring it to the surface on how important it is to do these things. And dog grooming itself, nails, just it needs to be addressed and it needs to be talked about. So like you said, Anthony, back in the day, you couldn't pull this stuff up on YouTube or anything and see. Now you go, pull up any, you don't even have to go to our channel, go to any channel, just punch in, dog nail clips. There's thousands of them.
There's thousands of them.
So we have all this information. So let's use it. Let's use it to benefit our dogs and make it better for them so that we're not making these crazy mistakes that we don't need to. We don't need need to make a mistake, because we're learning off of other people's. So
yeah. I'm happy that the more grooming channels that are out there, the better. I hope that as it moves forward, that I don't want grooming YouTube channels to become super competitive where groomers are bashing other groomers. I think if anything, the community needs to grow and remain strong, and groomers need to collaborate and do videos together and sort of share different tips and their own stories and their own things to avoid, because you're always learning in this business. It's never something that could be perfected. If it could be perfected, there'd be one groomer. And there's not. So
right. And you're right, because all groomers have different styles. I'm learning from other groomers. Groomers are learning from me. Everybody has a different approach. Groomers are artists. So if you could learn something off of another groomer, by all means. I mean, yeah, you're right. We do have to pull together. I think in the past, groomers are artists. So along with that artistry, there's that ego. You know what I mean? It's like, you can only have one Jimmy Page playing, lead guitar for Led Zeppelin. There ain't going to be two Jimmy Pages because he's an artist. So it's, you know what I'm saying? So it's like that sort of thing. There is some ego there, but I think that most groomers are kind of, breaking down that ego. Let's get to the safety of the dogs and how do we better our dogs and cats' lives? Who cares? Drop the ego. Let's get it out there. Let's band together. Let's teach each other. I think it's really, really important. Let's teach each other some tips. Even clipping dogs' nails could be done differently. Some people come from behind and you have to position yourself. Sometimes I support the dog with my elbow and lift the back leg. If it's a younger dog and they have strong back legs, I don't have to do that. I can do it forward. So there's all different ways to do it on all these different dogs. Yeah,
there's even, I mean, we don't really, I think we've only done this once or twice, but there was even, I saw a nail clip video once. The dog kept trying to not back out of the noose, but the dog kept trying to walk side to side off of the table. So the groomer, the groomer actually did something pretty smart. They got another noose and they sort of put it around the dog's waist and sort of connected it to the front. Again, it's kind of hard to explain without showing you, but it secured the dog on the table because unfortunately they didn't have an apprentice like you do. They didn't have me standing there holding the dog.
They didn't have a son.
Yeah, they didn't have a son. So yes, this was the mystery childless groomer.
Poor groomer.
Yeah, poor groomer.
Everyone deserves a son.
Everyone deserves a son. I thought it was interesting. It got the job done, and it was just it was sort of like, wow, look at this. Like, this is kind of funny that just what a groomer will do sometimes just to get the job done. Just any way you could do it. The dog's nails need to get done, and you know how it is, especially with nail clips. Above all else, a dog will do anything in its power to get you to stop clipping his nails.
Right.
So
they'll try to jump off the table. Yeah. They'll start bucking their back legs, or they'll pull away. You have no idea how strong some dogs are. I mean, the way they pull their feet away, they'll pull their feet away lightning fast, like right out of your hand. So now you have a dog like trying to buck his legs or pulling away, and you have to be very, very precise on this. So here's something, this is how difficult it is. This is the part we're trying to kind of stress is that most dogs don't like it. They tolerate it at best. So now you have to do something with such precision, or you're going to hurt the dog while they're pulling away, while they're bucking their legs, while they're trying to jump off the table. It's a challenge. It's a challenge.
Huge challenge. Yeah. I could see it in your face when we're in the middle of a long day and the phone rings and it's a nail appointment for after you're done with the rest of your entire day. And then I'll see your face change into, now I'm worried because we are already cutting 7 different sets of nails today with the groomings that we're doing from morning to afternoon, and now you have an extra nail clip. It's got to be one of a groomer's least favorite things to do, that scissoring the face among all the other things. But nail clips, I always see your nerves start to jump a little bit because it's just the quickest way to hurt a dog sometimes if you don't know how to do it properly and safely.
And then you'll always get this too from the customer. Oh, I want them as short as I can. And then you try to go short, you hit the vein, and they go, oh my God, you hit the vein.
Right. Yes, that's what happened.
Right, because you're pressuring me to go as short as I can. But again, listen, if you have the type of dog that isn't crazy about it, okay, something's better than nothing. Cut a little bit off. At least get something done. Don't you have to
trust your groomer. Odds are your worst groomer still knows a lot more about professional grooming than you do.
That's right.
As it stands right now, we're trying to change that. But trust your groomer because
Right.
especially if you've been getting your dog or cat's nails cut from the same person for a while, odds are they know a lot more about your own pet's nails than you probably do on a professional level.
Right. Some dogs hate it so much that you can't really do them. I mean, some dogs are just so aggressive and go into such a frenzy that they have to be sedated. You have to have them done by a vet and have them sedated just to get their nails done. So what will help avoid that is start them young. You know, you want to start clipping their nails probably around 3 months of age. Not much sooner than that either, because you want to give the dog a little bit of time to mature. But between 3-4 months of age, you want to start clipping your dog's nails or your cat's nails. And again, in the beginning, like you said earlier, Ant, little by little. Yeah, don't try to go so close right off the bat. Little by little, let them get used to it. You can't throw a first grader into 8th grade, right? Teach them slowly. Dog grooming is a process. It's just like anything else, just like training. It's a process. So the slower, the better. If you do hit the vein, okay, let's talk about that a little bit. If you do hit the vein, safety tip, you have to have quick stop or septic powder available. Don't ever try to cut your dog or cat's nails without having the aseptic stick or a quick stop powder just in case you hit the vein so that you could apply it to stop the bleeding. A lot of the powders have like a little cortisone in it too, so it numbs the area too, so that it kind of instantly stops the pain as well as stopping the blood. And if you do hit the vein, it's just a very simple application. You could use your finger, you could use a cotton swab, and you just dab a little bit onto the nail, and the bleeding pretty much stops immediately.
It's like, do you ever hear the saying, like when you're a little kid and or just whenever when you scrape your knee, rub some dirt on it.
Yeah, right.
It's pretty much
quick
a
stop
medicated. Yeah, it's a medicated version of that. As a nice, safe, clean way to do that. Just you hit the vein. It's okay. Don't panic. Rub some dirt on it. Rub some quick stop on it. It's gonna stop. Don't worry.
You know what's funny too? It doesn't always hurt the dog. I've had dogs where I've hit the vein and they don't feel anything.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, yeah. Actually, if it makes anybody feel any better, that's the more common way it happens. It's not always so excruciating. Usually when you hit the vein, I found at our shop, we don't even know what happened. The dog doesn't flinch. The dog doesn't yelp. And then we'll just see a little bit of blood and we'll go, oh, crap. Well, it looks like
Because
looks like we hit it.
There's a big difference between like hitting the vein badly and like hitting the vein a little bit. So again, don't try to take a big chunk of nail off because you might cut into the deeper part of that vein because the vein comes to a point. So if you hit the vein a little bit, it'll be less painful for the dog and it won't bleed nearly as much as if you hit it, badly.
It may be hard if you're doing this at home and it happens. It may be hard not to freak out a little bit, especially if you're not okay seeing blood, but try not to. You just need to relax and, like you said, chuck the quick stop on it. It's going to stop because if you freak out a little bit too much and you think that you really, really hurt your dog, it may not be that big of a deal. The dog's going to pick up on your fear and the dog is going to stress out more than it has to. Obviously, if you can't get the bleeding to stop, it's time to go to the vet. But it's 9 times out of 10, you just went a little too far. The dog's probably not even in that much pain, but you have to get it to stop and you learn from it. It's not always a major emergency. You know what I mean? It's
Yep, absolutely.
Just try not to freak. If your dog screams and yelps, then okay, it might be you definitely get something on it. And if it was that bad, then you may want to run to the vet really quick. But 9 times out of 10, it's just you went a little bit too far. That's the whole point. When you inch up and you do very, very little bit, even if you do hit a vein, odds are you didn't hit it that badly. If you're just tipping further, a little bit further, a little bit further.
Right. Because the blood could be a little jarring to some people. It's like you.
Yeah.
Anthony, when you see like poop, you go into like this weird frenzy like you've never seen it before. The same thing that people feel when they see blood, you feel when like you see somebody like, pooping or throwing up or something. You can't handle that.
I'm going to faint.
You got a weak stomach.
I do. I really do have a weak stomach. I may have I may be in the wrong business.
You got a weak stomach, man.
I do.
I've seen you panic because a dog pooped in the cage. I've seen you go into a panic.
It's part of it too, though, is that I see how hard you work on the dogs, and I don't know. Sometimes, yes, outside of the fact that it smells, but sometimes, a little mini poodle that just took you all this time and effort to groom, poops all over itself because it wasn't feeling good that day, and we didn't know, and now we have to rebathe it and redo it, and it upsets the balance.
And how do all of our shows, no matter what topic we're talking about, come down to poop? I think
because you're destined to make throw up.
No, but in all 7 episodes that we've done here on Groomer Humor, we always start talking about poop somehow.
I don't
What's
know,
wrong with us?
Or how much we stink.
Or how much we stink. Well, not me. I don't stink. See, when you get older, you don't have to shower as much. The body don't get as dirty.
No.
You start losing your hair.
Hey, well, that's good news for me, because if I'm this lazy now when it comes to showers, and when I get older, that's going to be really clutch. Turns out I don't even have to do it as much anymore, so that's good. I've been kind of living my life by that anyway.
Yeah. So, anyway, let's recap on some stuff here. Number one, we're going to safety, right? If you choose to do this at home, you want to get practiced at it. Always have your quick stop handy. If you're not comfortable doing it at home, definitely, again, you bring them to a professional dog groomer, a veterinarian. Vets are also used to clipping nails too, so you have that option. You definitely want to do little by little. Once you get practiced at it, also, what you could also do on top of the nail clipping is nail grinding or filing. That's a whole nother aspect in itself, because now you have to kind of get the dog used to a grinder. By the way, guys, we don't normally grind cat's nails. You want to avoid that. Don't ever try to grind your cat's nails, because your cat will be in your drop ceiling, okay, within 2 seconds of you turning that grinder on.
Oh, yeah. That's all it's going to take is you switching it to on. And God forbid, let me tell you something. And if you accidentally left it on a high speed level and then you switch it on,
it's so loud, believe me,
you have an outdoor cat.
You have an outdoor cat now, okay? He's going to find his way through the chimney even if you don't have a fireplace, trust me, okay? So don't try to grind your cat's nails. You can cut your cat's nails. Let's talk a little bit about cat nails. Cat nails, a little bit different than dog nails. In my experience, cat nails are actually a little easier, a little bit more dangerous if the cat hates it, but definitely a little bit easier simply because the way a cat's nails grow, the vein is actually very tucked back. Cats have like claws that can literally gouge your eyeball out. So, and they're usually all clear. I've really have never seen a cat with dark nails. So as far as like locating the vein, it's very, very visible on cats. And in clipping cat's nails also, the cat's nails are much softer. So the clipper actually goes through the nail a lot easier. I think dog nails are more calcified and a little harder to cut through. Cat nails are softer. They clip a lot easier. But again, same concept. You want to start them young, get them done. Positioning's a little bit different. Cats usually like to lay down. So you're doing the cat nails in a lay down position as opposed to a dog where, they're standing up. So there are some differences. But again, cats also need to get their nails done. Unless, of course, you have an outdoor cat. To be honest with you, I wouldn't recommend clipping my outdoor cat's nails only because if they're out there, they got to defend themselves, territorial.
That's all they got.
They don't have a fight in the game if they don't have nails. Definitely, please, guys, don't ever declaw your cat and have him be an outdoor cat. I mean, he's just going to be...
Oh, that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, he's going to be just, butched every day of the week.
Oh, yeah. And actually, we have to...
Talk about bullying. It's like, Did you see Simon? He has no nails. So
yeah, go get him. We have to go to break very quickly, but when we come back, I actually wanted to make a quick point about cat nails really quickly.
Definitely.
Right after we come back. You're listening to Groomer Humor on Pet Life Radio.
We'll be right back, right after these messages. Stay tuned.
I love cleaning the litter box, said no one ever. Luckily, there's World's Best Cat Litter, the litter that promises less mess with less litter. Only World's Best Cat Litter uses the concentrated power of corn to quickly trap odors in tight clumps. And quick clumping means you never have to chisel or scrape the box. Less cleanup with less wasted litter? That's a litter bit amazing. Save $2 on World's Best Cat Litter. Visit www.saveonworldsbest.com.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite.
Dynavite for life.
Pick up 2 tubes of Doggo Suds.
Get the 3rd tube free.
Peppermint, tea tree, lavender, Doggo Sud shampoo.
Made with all-natural coconut, jojoba, aloe. Great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
But no itchy, harsh chemicals.
Lather up, rinse away.
Try Doggo Suds. Buy 2, Get one free
at Dinovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back to Groomer Humor on Pet Life Radio. I am Anthony, hanging out with my dad, Rudy V. And when we left, we were talking about cat nails and clipping them and not wanting to declaw your outdoor cat because that's really going to not give them a leg up in a fight that they're going to have with other outdoor cats that still have their weapons with them. And before we went to break, I wanted to make a quick point, especially now as this information starts becoming more and more available to pet owners and even groomers. The importance of your cat's nails is going to grow even further because I believe it was in Denver and beginning in California that it's now going to be illegal to declaw your cat. Yeah, so
that's interesting.
Yeah, because I know it's a pretty common thing that one of the benefits of declawing your cat, especially if it's indoor, is that now you don't have to worry about getting your cat's nails clipped, or at least the front ones. Not everybody declaws all the fronts or the backs, but we've heard it's very traumatizing to the cat, and you really shouldn't do it to begin with, but a lot of people do it. But I could see it happening already that it may just be in Denver and California right now, but you could already tell that's going to spread and it's going to end up being illegal everywhere. So start to learn about this stuff a little bit because it's no longer going to be one declaw and you don't have to worry about your cat's nails ever again. It's going to begin to become just as important on a cat as it is a dog. You know, it's going to be important.
You know, that's a good point because anybody who is looking to get a cat or has a cat, if you do have an indoor cat, now it's important to clip those nails. You want to clip those nails because you don't want them tearing up your couch. And here's the other thing, too. Cat nails can get too long as well. The difference with outdoor cats is that they're constantly walking around. They're wearing them down. They're clawing at trees. Even with your indoor cat, you want to definitely, be cat friendly. Get those scratching posts. Get them something to claw on. Just like when we watch Jackson Galaxy, it's one of the things he talks about all the time is, creating an environment where your cat can claw and wear those nails down even indoor.
It's very necessary.
It is, yeah. So definitely. And also, I wanted to mention something I forgot to mention before. There's that dreaded dew claw. For people who aren't familiar with that dew claw, your dog or cat may have an extra claw that's kind of hung up on their leg. It's usually set up high. It almost looks like a thumb. In some cases, they could have multiple dew claws. I've seen cats that have multiple dew claws. So you have to remember to cut those nails too. And unlike the other nails, they don't wear down. So those are more likely to hook in. And so definitely, if there is a dew claw, you definitely have to make sure you cut that nail as well as the rest.
Those get forgotten a lot.
Yeah, because especially if you have a hairy dog or something, you don't notice them. Yeah. Sometimes you don't notice them, and those are more likely to curl under and grow into the pad. And in some rare cases, you got those dogs that don't even need their nails clipped. You got these guys that run with their dogs constantly, and those dog nails get worn down. They really don't need nail clipping, but in most cases, we do. We have to get our dog's nails clipped. And so let's talk about like some of the costs. We had mentioned that's one of the most common questions as well. Guys, it's not that expensive. It really isn't. I mean, we charge $15 to $25. You can get it done cheaper in some places. If you go to a vet, obviously they're probably going to charge you a little bit more than that. But usually the cost goes anywhere between like, I don't know, $10 and $30 for a nail clip. And, again, you're doing it once a month. So cut that into your budget. When you decide to get a dog, nail clips alone can cost you $20 a month. What we do is when we groom dogs, it's included in our grooming price, so we incorporate that and we give even a better price because the nails are included. Nails and ears are included in our complete grooming price. But if you're just getting your dog or cat's nails done separately, you could look to spend on average about $20 a month.
I like the way you put that. Put that in the budget. I feel like when people are picking their breeds and thinking about getting a dog or a cat, a lot of the attention goes to the hair. How often will I have to get him or her groomed? The brushing. A lot of the focus goes on how much maintenance with the brush and the hair and the coat.
Sure. Right.
That people don't really consider. Oh wait, but what? Also the nails. And the nails are an expense that should be done often. In some dogs' cases, the nails grow so fast you're getting the nails cut twice as often as you're even getting the dog groomed. So, yeah, that kind of gets overlooked a little bit, understandably.
Mm-hmm. And listen, it can be more than that. I mean, don't bat an eye if a groomer's charging you $30 to get your dog's nails clipped. It's difficult. It's precision. It's you're paying for their professionalism. You're paying for something that you probably can't do or not do as well. So again, sometimes you have to pay for things, just to get them done for the benefit of your pet.
Yeah, I think you have to take into consideration, like we said earlier, most dogs don't like it. So, if you're a groomer, and a lot of groomers go above and beyond trying to get the nails to be as good as possible. So, if your groomer is back there cutting them and then grinding them, and then sometimes groomers even throw in clipping the pads out a little bit while you're there. It's in the same family. You're helping your dog get better traction and feel more comfortable when they walk. So if your groomer's back there doing all of that, and then they come back out front and they say, it's going to be 30. There's a reason.
There's a reason.
It's a lot of work.
Right. And a lot of people will say, oh, well, you just made $30 in 10 minutes. Listen, it's not the time. It's the knowledge. It's the professionalism. It's, a dentist can cap your tooth in 10 minutes and charge you $1,500. You know what I'm saying? You're not paying him for his time. You're paying for him for his expertise.
Right. The skill involved.
Yeah. So if you're paying that $30 to $25, $30, and it took your groomer 10 minutes to do it, you're paying for their expertise. You're paying for their knowledge. So, and we should want to pay that,
Right. It's your pet. It's your pet. And you should always ensure that your pet is getting the best care it possibly can be. And with all this information out there, the goal is for you to be capable as the pet owner to be the best care for your pet grooming wise. And that's going to happen, I think, in the future. The more this information comes out, we're going to turn everybody into a groomer, I think.
That's right. Or at least know something about it.
Yeah.
Even if you don't want to do it yourself, our show is going to be based around knowledge and entertainment as well. Even if you don't want to be a groomer, I think you'll be pretty fascinated by some of the things that groomers do. So, and another thing I wanted to mention is, people ask all the time, what type of nail clippers do you use? There's a bunch of different types. Usually we use just the standard scissor type. The old school method is using the guillotine nail clippers, which a lot of groomers still feel comfortable using. I don't use those anymore.
Yeah, we shied away from those.
We shied away from it because you can't see the nail as good. But if you're looking for a pair of clippers, there's a number of different clippers out there, some better than others. I just suggest getting a professional pair. You can get Resco puts out a good nail clipper. Top Performance puts out a good professional quality nail clipper.
Yeah, they do a lot of good stuff.
Yes, listen, don't buy your nail clippers at the Dollar Tree. I mean, I'm sorry. They're okay if you want to use them once or twice. It's like buying razor blades at the
same
tree.
Thing.
Yeah, I think I sliced a level of my skin off with one of those razors. I don't know what it was, but if you're going to get a clipper, get a good quality one. Get a professional quality one. They're not that expensive. They probably spend about, again, $15-$25 on a good set of nail clippers.
That's funny what you said about, what's funny with the Dollar Tree razors. I still buy them too, which is pathetic.
Yeah, no, me too. I'm there every day. We have a Dollar Tree in our mall.
every time I always try a different kind every time I go there. And the last time I went there, I thought that this was it. I thought I found it. I go, this is the best pair I've ever gotten. I mean, it was just flying through, and I was going real fast because it was just working so well. And I look down, I'm washing my hands, and I look up, my entire neck is
bleeding.
Just bleeding everywhere.
I know.
And I was just like, wow, what? I thought I had to go to the hospital.
Yeah, that happened to me too, dude. And I started experimenting with the last pair I bought was called Ladies Touch.
Okay. Well, I understand that.
And I was still bleeding.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know. I cut my ear with it once. Like, how did that even happen?
Right.
I just, and that's the thing. I still buy them. I'm never going to stop because they're cheap.
When you get a 10-pack for $1, it's hard to pass up.
Yeah, right. 10-pack of single blade.
You get a pallet of them for $1.
Yeah, you get a whole pallet. They forklift it to your car.
You know what I mean? So
they tear you up. But good point. You don't want to. You really shouldn't skimp on anything when it comes to your pet. But Understandable. A lot of pet supplies are expensive, but nail clippers, yeah, you don't want to skimp on that. Especially, you want it to go get a nice clean cut. They are sharp, but if you get something real cheap, they're gonna lock up on you. You don't want that. You don't want to be halfway through the
dull right away.
Yeah, they dull. That's the thing. That's why you got to get a better pair, because they dull right up. Especially if you have a bigger dog, like a retriever or lab or something like that. Those are some thick nails.
There's another company called Miller's Forge. They put out a really good nail clipper too. So just do your research. Go on Google, whatever. They're there. There's thousands.
Well, that's half the battle about all this stuff, about all this pet stuff, all this grooming knowledge is you just don't even know where to start. I think one of the most beneficial things we could ever tell our listeners or our subscribers on YouTube is what to use, because it's like starting the gym, never having worked out a day in your life. Where do I even start? Do I do this? Am I doing this right? I don't know. I don't even know what to get. Not that I know anything about that.
Anyway, what do you think? We got to sum this up here.
Yeah, I'm tired of you anyway.
I'm tired of you, man. No. See, you could say that to me. I can never get tired of you. You're so cute.
Right. Oh, thanks.
I used to change your diaper.
You are too. You used to change my diaper. Don't talk. No more poop. No more poop.
Oh, okay.
Done with that. We got to stop doing that.
We do. We got talking about poop. All right.
And stop trying to make me throw up every time. I'm just going to start doing. I'm going to have a hurl bag next to me every time we just. What day are we recording? Tuesday. All right. Let me get the bag. You always mention something.
I did really used to chew my toenails, though. I have to admit that. That's nasty.
You know what's the worst part about that is I know what your feet look like.
Oh.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So the image of it going in your mouth, just the thought of you heading home after standing for 9 hours grooming all these dogs and you kicking back and just going to town on your tootsies is just like it's jarring, man. It's just jarring. I know what your feet look like. I've been to the beach with you.
Oh.
Well,
okay. What a way to end our set.
Yeah. Well,
let's
I'm upset.
Let's sum it up. That's nasty.
It's gross.
All right.
Okay. Okay. All right. Here we go. Thanks so much for stopping by, hanging out with us for a little bit, guys. We'd like to thank our producer, Mark Winter, as always. Thank you so much, Mark. If you haven't done so already, head on over to our YouTube channel. It's called Grooming by Rudy. That's Grooming by Rudy on YouTube.com. Leave a comment, like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. We want to hear from you guys. You could also like Grooming by Rudy on Facebook, follow Grooming by Rudy on Instagram. It has been an absolute pleasure, everybody. And until next time, take care of yourselves and your pets.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.